Good morning, it's day number 2 in Stockholm and it's our last full day. So we've woken up early, we're going down for breakfast now, so hopefully they've got some tasty food on offer again. Breakfast was delicious, had lots of pancakes to begin with cream and maple syrup. Then we followed up with some cheesy omelettes, sausage and then a bacon bap as well. You'll have to let me know down in the comments what you call a bacon bap, whether you call it a bacon butty, a cob, bacon bap. I don't know, there's so many different combinations, so let me know in the comments what you call it. And now we're going to head off into the old town in Stockholm again, where we've got a free walking tour and hopefully they'll be able to show us around it's sort of like on an island, so hopefully they'll be able to show us around the old town so that we know a little bit more about it. We find a few more bars and restaurants which we like the look of, and then we can go visit them tonight. Finished the walking tour. We found that there's a lot more to do in Stockholm than there is in Oslo, so if you were to come here I'd recommend probably 4 days rather than 3. We were also told whilst on the tour that most of the people in Sweden actually leave for 6 months and travel to South Europe, or they go further north or things like that. So we're now going to wander the streets of the old town on our own, and then we're going to pop off to a coffee shop to get a drink and maybe a cake or something like that. So we just had a hot chocolate and some lovely cannoli at one of the cafes in the middle of the old town, and now we are heading across on, it's a public ferry, so it's quite a cool little public ferry, really cheap as well, probably less than a fiver, and we're just heading around the islands now just so we can see a little bit more of Stockholm. Just stopped off on one of the other smaller islands which make up Stockholm, and we're heading our way over to the castle right now, which you can see just up there. It's a stunning city, Stockholm, I have to say. Compared to Oslo, there's so much more to it, so I definitely recommend Stockholm over Oslo. feel both Oslo and Stockholm have been so peaceful as well. There's not many people about at all, and it's perfect for runners. There's so many running trails that you can just run around the different islands, different areas, and the coastline. It's stunning. I do think it is a little bit biased though, because Stockholm has been really good weather today, so it's made it look just 10 times better in the sun compared to yesterday when it was raining all day. But thankfully we were in the museum, so we didn't miss out on much. What a day it has been. It's probably been our favourite day so far of the Nordics trip. We've managed to go around a lot of the islands in Stockholm. It was great, that tour to begin with, and we ended off just strolling around on our own, seeing a few different things, went into a few different shops as well. We've bought some Swedish food, which we're going to try in just a second as well. And then we ended it off walking through the main street of probably more of the modern side of Stockholm. So you've got the old town in the centre and then the new town, I suppose, just outside. So that was quite enjoyable as well, seeing that, although it's definitely not as good as the old town. As it is so sunny outside today as well, we do really want to see the sunset. Hopefully the sunset will be a lot better than the one that we saw in Oslo. So I think what we'll probably do is go up to the rooftop bar to go and see that, and then we'll head down to an Italian restaurant which we've booked for a little bit later. Whilst we were in the old town, we saw this traditional sweet shop which was selling the traditional, what they call blondie balls. So it's basically like a white chocolate ball, and then it's got, by the looks of it, a coconut coating around it. I'm not too sure. We'll have to give it a try and see what we think. Not too sure I can get that fully in my mouth though, but I'll give it a quick bite now. You know what? That's all right. Not a massive fan of coconut on the outside, but that actually tastes quite good. You can really taste the white chocolate in the centre as well, and it melts in your mouth. So I'll give that a solid 8, 7.5 out of 10. So a second thing that we bought whilst we were out looking through the old town was an amaretto biscuit. They all look really nice, so we thought we'd try one out. We tried a chocolate orange one out earlier, which tasted pretty good, but we've saved a hazelnut one for now. So we'll give this one a try. It's got such big packaging for such a small amaretto biscuit, but we'll see what we think of it. That's nice. I wouldn't say it's as good as the blondie ball though. And we actually tried some biscuit whilst we were in the shop, but I'm pretty sure we've not bought the same thing, so that's a shame, because I definitely preferred what was in the shop to what we've got now. It tasted more like a fudge, what we had in the shop, compared to this, which is obviously a little bit more like spongy, like an actual amaretto biscuit. Now we're going to make our way up to the rooftop bar. We're all ready to go. The sun's starting to drop as well, so we don't want to miss that sunset, and we're hoping it's going to be 10 times better than the one in Norway. So the sunset was 10 times better in Stockholm than it was in Oslo, as you saw in the video. However, I think the main reason for that was because the weather was much better in Stockholm compared to Oslo. After the sunset went down, we headed inside for a couple of drinks. Again, very nice in the bar upstairs in our hotel.
Then we headed into the Old Town, where we then went for food to an Italian restaurant, which was very tasty. The pizza was lovely. And then we had garlic bread and olive dip to start as well, which was very tasty. And then just opposite the Italian, we spotted a sort of Viking themed bar, which was really cool, to be fair. They had lots of Viking music going on, tables and cups, which were like in the Viking days too. We actually met an Irish guy while we were in there as well, who had said he'd lived in Stockholm for 2 years, learnt the Swedish language and everything too. It was really cool listening to all of his stories. And then we've just headed back to the room now. Currently around 10 p.m. now, so we're going to head off to bed so that tomorrow we can make the most of our last day in Stockholm. But today has definitely been our best day so far in the Nordics, so I hope that the final few days can live up to it. So I'll see you all in the morning, where tomorrow we'll be spending half the day in Stockholm, and then we're making our way off to Helsinki.
Good morning. It is our last half day in Stockholm, and that means it's our last Japanese/Nordic breakfast at the Hobo Hotel. I've had a really good sleep, however Beth hasn't. It's been strange because you'd think that they'd have blackout blinds in all of these different hotels, but here in Stockholm, for some reason, they've not got blackout blinds. It's just sort of like a little cover that you can pull almost all the way across, but unfortunately it doesn't quite take up the whole of the window. So we're now going to head up to the rooftop bar for some food. Breakfast again was very tasty. Unfortunately though, they had a few things that had run out because it was a bit later that we went to breakfast than usual, so didn't get to have our pancakes with maple syrup and cream. But we did get to have some croissants with jam and cream, which were very nice. And now we've made our way back to the room, packed all the bags ready to go to Helsinki. We'll probably leave them at the hotel whilst we go and do all of the other activities in Stockholm. So we'll go drop off the suitcases down at the hotel reception, and then we are heading off to the Avicii experience. So not too sure what it's going to be about, but it should be pretty good. Avicii Museum was really good, was able to learn all about his life and how he came up with all his songs. It is definitely a museum which I recommend going to if you come to Stockholm. We were also quite lucky because the one day that we decided to go, they were showing his last ever Swedish tour as well in like a big amphitheatre sort of thing, so it was really cool. And it was a shame he died so young, but now we've headed our way up to a viewpoint which should hopefully get good views all over Stockholm. So we took the bus from the Avicii Museum on the main island and made our way over here, so we're hoping for some stunning views. So
So just for some context, that over there is where the town hall is, and then if we come across to the right hand side, this is the area here is where the old town is, and then just behind that is where the hotel is and where we've just been to the Avicii museum. So this is the main difference really between Oslo and Stockholm. You don't get views like this, but the weather has definitely helped here in Stockholm compared to the Oslo weather. So fingers crossed Helsinki keeps up to this weather as well, even though the forecast is showing that it is going to rain a little bit, which is not ideal. One other thing that we were told on the tour was that all the boats which are docked up here down at the bottom, so all of these boats used to be going through that bridge over there, but since they built that bridge connecting the two islands with a metro, boats can no longer go through that for trade. So this is now known as one of the cleanest lakes, and all of the boats are now docked up on the side as hotels. So we tried to get into the Meatballs for everyone, but unfortunately it was fully booked and we had to wait like 30 minutes if we did want to go there. So we had to leave early, but we've got a takeaway, which you'll see in just a minute. So we'll give each of the meatballs a try then. So we'll start off with the vegan one at best. That's actually pretty good, to be fair. Not a bad meatball at all. And I will try one of my pork and beef ones. Both very nice, but that pork and beef one is definitely my favourite. Those meatballs were the best meatballs I've ever had, so definitely go and try them. The Swedish meatballs are definitely no cap for how good they are. And now we are about to say goodbye to Hobo Hotel. So goodbye to that. We're going to be heading off now to the train station, where we're going to get the train all the way back into Stockholm Airport, and we're heading our way off to Helsinki. We've made it onto the train now, and it is about an 18-minute journey to the airport. The public transport here is perfect. Literally, the UK could learn from how the trains work and all the buses and all the ferries and things like that for sure. That airline looks popular. And that is going to be it for the Sweden vlog. I hope you did all enjoy it, and do make sure to let me know down in the comments and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more vlogs like this. We've got the Oslo one from last week, and also we're going to be doing a Helsinki one next week, so I hope you look forward to that. But Sweden's been good fun. I've really enjoyed it. I'll probably prefer Sweden/Stockholm over Oslo, because it just had more to do. It was a bit prettier and things like that, and the weather was better as well, which I know it was a bit unfortunate for Oslo that the weather wasn't great, but here in Sweden it was perfect. But we're now going to jump on a flight to Helsinki, so I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.